with CLG's playstyle. And we saw this in game one. Just Nidalee did not really leave top lane all too much. And I think this may actually be a sizable counter, or at the very least will delay CLG enough so that their pushing potential is severely hindered. So you know what? There's only one way to find out, and we are in the game. CLG versus Rosewill 1-1. This is the decider, and winner of this will move on to round of 8.
Yeah, and so we'll have to see whether or not CLG has an aggressive invade early. They have a really strong level 1 team. We also have the Flash Frost on Anivia to pick up some kills, but mostly Rosewill's going to want to sit back and not allow any kills to happen. Now, CLG, they have Shen top, and Shen, he has the taunt. Tryndamere has the dash to get away from there. But even so, even with the spinning slash, if we get early ganks on Shen or on Tryndamere to shut him down, very quickly we could maybe see Shen being abusive in that lane. And so you see both Shen and Tryndamere grabbing that cloth armor. The lack of movement speed makes you a little bit more vulnerable to ganks, but obviously they can sit in lane a little bit longer, have plenty of regen and damage mitigation. Yep. And CLG just kind of running around trying to see if they can find anyone. No targets available. We do see that ward once again from Rosewill up by their red, so that they know where CLG is. They saw them go check out that red, and they will be safe.
Yep, and also speaking, we may have a little bit less movement on our top lanes, but Shen can taunt dash away. Tryndamere, he can spin away. So they still have skills which, serve a purpose as a means of escape if they really need that kind of mobility in an emergency.
Oh, but yeah, so coming into this, it's just going to be really aggressive. We see there's no health pots on Alistar, and so that could kind of be a concern. I think Graves is short enough range that it's not that big of an issue. There is a better sustain for Soraka, obviously, than Alistar. So, any early damage that's exchanged with Alistar could be to their benefit. But Nocturne starting off with the red buff, he will be able to go clear his blue, but that could maybe result in an early gank somewhere, maybe even top lane. If he goes red to race and then blue, he can skip the wolves, get level 3 extremely fast with that double buff, and then come right up. And he actually is. So St. Vicious coming in, skipping the wolves, getting the fast level 3 off of blue, and that's going to result in a really aggressive gank top. I think Udyr might be expecting it, though, and so Udyr will be up there as well with his double buff. We'll see whether or not he tries to go in for a counter gank.
Yep, so Udyr now starting on the red. We'll see if he skips the small golems to see if he also wants to make his presence known in top lane, but I think Aspara might be trying to go for a little bit of a solo game here, and yeah, Livingston is going down. Aspara is still there, and we got St. Vicious here. We got the taunt coming in on Aspara. He does spin away, but he is feared under his own tower, but he's just there right to safety, and St. Vicious actually taking way too many tower hits from that.
Yeah, and so that's going to hurt him a little bit, but Saint has plenty of regen. He's got the health pots. He's going to be fine. But even so, that does kind of put Tryndamere back a little bit. But because he's safe with the spinning slash and has so many health pots from the cloth and 5 health pots, he didn't have to blow any summoners, really. Oh, actually, blew Ghost. I didn't realize he blew that. So he blew Ghost, which helps them, but he will be able to sit in lane still. Udyr coming down to steal the Wraiths, recognizing that Nocturne's out of lane. And Doublelift doing a nice little exchange there, getting some nice burst under Rikiri here, but he will have the Soraka to kind of get him back up to full.
Doublelift does have a slight XP lead. We did hit 3. Rikiri is still 2. Maybe 1 or 2 more minion kills should be able to do that. We do have Udyr spotted out in mid lane, and Aspara is now dueling with Hotshot, just trying to get that shield off of him. And TMS is actually getting pretty low. I mean, we did see the same mid lane matchup in game 1, Ahri versus Anivia. And, Anivia could have only done so much. We actually won. Wow, clutch heal coming in for Judge Reinhold right as that
it
last...
was actually Graves' heal, so the summoner heal is blown. Which is going to be an issue, but in the meantime, we see Livingston coming up in this top lane, the slow from Tryndamere, and now Hotshot throwing off his Ghost, but he's going to have a tough time getting out of there. He does have some nice distance from Aspara, but even so, he is trapped. He could get a dash over the wall, though, so they're trying to get him in here, but the rest of the team coming in as well to get him out of there, and some nice damage off into Anivia. If Anivia goes down, that could be really dangerous, so Hotshot able to escape over to his mid lane.
Wow, we began with the juke in the bush, and we're thinking, it's like, okay, Udyr's in the middle of the lane. I only have one option, and that's to go through enemy jungle. But we had Ahri actually taking the lead on it, and Team Miss was following Big Fat into the jungle, just kind of like we could have had a nice little sandwich situation there, but we also had the presence from St. Vicious. It was like, okay, what was originally a 2v1 has now evolved into a 3v3 with our mid, who's not in the greatest shape. So you know what, we may just want to back off, otherwise we may be sacrificing our mid to this. And you know, wisely, everyone just kind of dispersed, but good on Hotshot.
Yeah, and so right now, it is, you know, all even up. Tryndamere able to get some nice farm up there. He actually has a nice little advantage over Shen, but with all these minions pushing into the wave, into the tower, Shen will be able to catch up and, you know, have that even farm there. Does get the ward down, so he will be fine. But we have the gank coming mid. The charm will help Big Fat there, but the Flash Frost forces out the flash from Big Fat, almost picking him off there, and that could have been pretty hard to have that early death against that Anivia.
Yep. So, and Anivia, we still haven't left lane yet. We are out of potions. So, and you know, and Ari actually still has all 3 pots that she started out with, but Anivia is now back. We got her Sapphire Crystal, and we actually get a whole bunch of damage here on Judge Reinhold as well. Getting aggressive, CLG wants to push Rosewill to their tower, and you know what? That's definitely what you want to do if you have the Alistar available to you. Alistar Vayne is just, it's one of the roughest lanes to go up against in bot, if not the. And you know, and Rosewill knows they can't really stick their neck out too far. Otherwise, they're pinned up against the wall, and you've got all these crossbow bolts and this cow in your face, and that's not pleasant.
Yeah, and so we do see, you know, Vayne picking up a nice little farm advantage, and then when you consider that she's got a larger minion wave, she's definitely able to control the lane. We do have Livingston coming down for the gank bot. He will have his stun available. Chouster trying to get out of there. There is the condemn from double lift, so they will be very safe there. In the meantime, a nice little exchange of damage, but we do have, you know, plenty of healing capabilities on Tryndamere, so he's going to be fine farming in that top lane as well.
Yep. Aspara, I mean, Tryndamere is definitely a champion who requires a fair, decent amount of farm. He does require certain items for him to remain viable as we start heading into mid-game, as we start heading into late game. He definitely needs some crit. He definitely needs some attack speed, because with that, he allows him to build more rage, allows him to do more visibility. So he's now hit 6. He now has endless rage available to him, so he's going to be he has a little bit more staying power in top lane, but Hotshot is now 6 as well. So now, if we can force Hotshot out of lane, force him to ult, and we see bot lane getting a little more aggressive and pushing a little bit more. Same thing with mid. Now game is, let's force Hotshot out of lane. We've got our first use of promote. We got a big cannon minion up there, so now we need to see how Hotshot's going to go ahead and deal with the promote strat.
Yeah, and he's actually not even waiting until he leaves lane, because he knows there's a wave pushed up, and Hotshot can't push counter push fast enough. So Hotshot sitting here, you know, trying to attack down the minions. It forces him to sit still. And I'm a little bit surprised he didn't hold on to it a little bit, but it's pretty short cooldown. Actually, it's like 3 minutes, so that's a little bit surprising how long the cooldown is on promote. You know, it's kind of a standard summoner cooldown, but even so,
it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's fairly fast.
And also not to mention all the minion kills that the promoted minion makes, you get the gold credit for.
Yeah, and so right now we actually see Hotshot able to abuse Tryndamere a little bit. Tryndamere kind of sitting down. What item is he going for? He doesn't have a whole lot of gold, so he doesn't really have many options for buying. And anytime he walks up, Hotshot just, you know, cueing him to the face. He's able to get that passive strike on him. And very quickly he can burst him down, which is the concern. And because Hotshot has the Ignite and Tryndamere doesn't, obviously Hotshot can duel a little better. And so you just see the constant harass that Hotshot can place, and he's zoning Tryndamere from farming. But in the meantime, Big Fat's going to have to blow his ultimate maybe, because he's kind of stuck here. We actually had the flash in from Livingston for the stun. The Flash Frost following up, not quite able to connect.
Yep. And back to top lane, you know, granted, you know, we can see Hotshot duel with Aspara, but the point is, we got the Condemn coming, we got the Nocturnal, and we got the pin up against the wall onto Soraka in a very bad spot. We got the Fear, and that's just, when we see Soraka going backwards, trying to bait CLG to walk back, but you know what? Not going to do it, because they just need one more shot, and you're done. You're done. You're out of here. You're toast. CLG gets first blood.
And now we actually see a tower dive maybe onto Hotshot. Livingston tanking it a little bit. I thought they could maybe go in for it, but they decided not to. But even so, they have a huge wave pushing top. They can be really aggressive about pushing, and it's going to take Shen a little bit to, you know, counter push this. So he will take some damage to both himself and his tower. But, you know, the kill bottom gives them some nice bot lane control, and they know if they can snowball Vayne and Alistar, then very quickly they can take control of this game, and it's just going to be so difficult for Rosewill to deal with a fed Vayne. So I think a lot of it still comes down to this top lane, but Hotshot just in such complete control of that lane.
However, here's the thing, and this is the point I was going to make earlier. He may be in control of the lane, but it's at his tower, not Rosewill's tower. So, we have a little bit of a control mechanism here that as far as trying to maintain, he wants to keep the lane at Hotshot's tower or at the middle of the lane. And, that's the pressure that we're trying to keep up here. Because as long as it doesn't happen at his tower, we're not getting free shots on the top lane tower for Hotshot. And I think that's really what we're trying to prevent here.
Yeah, but if you look at it right now, Tryndamere is constantly pushed up, which means he's vulnerable to ganks.
Yes.
And Hotshot has a 20 CS advantage, so
he does.
He's just able to, kind of wear him down, zone him from his farm. And if Tryndamere doesn't get farmed through the mid game, then that's going to be a serious disadvantage for Rosewill. We do see a nice little damage trade, but actually we have a wall once again. Ahri able to get out of it, but the constant walls are forcing Ahri to blow her ultimate. She isn't going to be able to be as aggressive as she wants through this mid game. Not going to be able to, run around the map and get kills. And we actually have a gank bottom. There's the flash from Chowster, and there's the condemn as well. So the fast little burst. We have the headbutt, and then they're easily able to pick up that kill.
See, now we're seeing a little bit of deja vu here from Rosewill. I mean, we saw Lux get caught out quite a bit game one, and we're seeing a little bit of the same thing happen here to Soraka here, game number 2. Aspara is getting very low top lane, but we do have Endless Rage available to him in need be, so it'd be a shame to burn it at his own tower, but if we need to, it's there, and he did burn it, so right now he's dueling with Hotshot, trying to stay alive, trying to spin away. The Ignite has gone down on him. He can only heal so much, but no, the Ignite will actually finish the job.
Yeah, and so Hotshot just slowly wearing him down, just, the constant Q harass under the tower, getting him extremely low. We saw Rosewill trying to get an engage on bottom, weren't quite able to pick it up. But even so, it's just difficult with Tryndamere versus Shen now. And, it's kind of a question coming in because Tryndamere does so well. We actually have the Fear going off in the Livingston. I'm not sure that they have enough damage to follow it up with Big Fat actually missing the charm. But even so, Shen has always been kind of a counter to those close-up melee champions, and they thought maybe that Tryndamere would be okay with how much heal he has. He's got that nice sustain, and how much damage he has, but he doesn't have the Ignite to trade damage with, Hotshot. He doesn't have that killing potential, and he's completely zoned from attacking the creeps, and Tryndamere needs to be up front attacking the creeps in order to take advantage of his passive, which he just can't do right now.
Yep. And, we were also, we actually got the Udyr a little bit low, trying to get the blue and secure it for TMS. But, once again, we do have Promote available to us. He's only used it once, and I felt that there was an opportunity earlier for him to promote, push the wave just a little bit back, so that way we couldn't have had that fight under the tower. By the time we got to the tower, the wave could have been mitigated just a little bit, and he could have cleared it before Hotshot decided to get all divey on him.